When I began the process of working on my text set, I knew I wanted to focus on specific sea creatures. Some that I ended up picking were sharks, clownfish, whales, crabs, and even seahorses. The book I picked was called Could a Shark Do Gymnastics? This book looks at a bunch of different tasks and wonders if sharks would be able to do them. I think this is good for children because they often are afraid of sharks, and this book helps break that fear. The next book I picked is called Manfish. This book tells the story of Jacques, a world-known photographer. I think this book was important for children because it shows a job that they could potentially do that involves the ocean. The next book is called Trapped. It's about a humpback whale who got trapped in a fisherman's net. I think this book is important because it shows students how often humans can harm animals in the ocean and how it's our job to help protect them. This next book is a fictional book called A House for Hermit Crab. This book talks about a crab's journey to find different shells every time it outgrows it. I think this is important for students because they may not realize how important the shell is for a crab. I'm sure we're all familiar with this next book, The Magic School Bus. This book takes the students on an adventure to see all these creatures on the ocean floor. It's important because it's sharing facts along the way while also making the reading fun and engaging. The Big Blue Whale is a nonfiction book full of facts about whales. I think this is important because whales are the most endangered species in the ocean, which is something I would want my students to learn about as they go through this text set. My favorite book in this text set is called Down, Down, Down. This book is a nonfiction book that takes the reader on an adventure deeper and deeper into the ocean. As the reader dives down, they see the different type of creatures that lives at each level in the ocean. The next book is called Seahorses. This book is a fictional book that tells the story of a baby seahorse and its journey with its brother and sisters. I like this book because it also throws in some interesting facts about seahorses, like how they can change their color to match their surroundings, and other interesting things. The next book is a classic called The Rainbow Fish. This book is a fictional book that tells the story of a sole little fish. I think this is important for my text set because it will help readers who are a little bit further behind and need a simpler text, as well as kids who just want something shiny and fun and interactive. This last book is called Dolphin's First Day. In this book, a baby dolphin has to grow up extremely fast and is on his own within one day. I want my students to read this book so they can understand the difference between how they grow up compared to how a lot of sea creatures grow up. For my multiple module source, I chose Finding Nemo. Not only is this movie fun and engaging, but it also shows students the side of a story that we don't often hear, how tough it is for sea creatures when they're pulled out of the ocean and put into aquariums. I think this is something we could definitely talk about throughout the class. For my first lesson, my students will be participating in a book walk using 5 of the books that were included in my text set. The students will fill out a graphic organizer writing down facts about 5 different sea creatures that they learned about. Afterwards, they'll use a variety of materials like string, plastic, crayons, markers, fabric, etc. to create an image of what they expect to see if they went scuba diving in the ocean. This lesson is a literacy lesson. For this lesson, the students will choose from the 11 books included in my text set. Each student will go home and read their book and do extensive research on it. They'll write a summary about what their book was about. Once we come back together as a class, the students will share their books in groups of 4. Each student will fill out a graphic organizer about each book that they heard about in their groups, and this will be turned in as an exit ticket.